Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're looking forward to a great discussion around the 5 proven ways to help distributors sell more. My name is Robert Pease, the CMO here at Lead Method, and I'm joined today by Justin Johnson, the founder and CEO of Lead Method. So, Justin, thanks for making the time today.
Thanks,
Justin, do you
Robert.
want to talk a little bit about what we do and why we're in sort of an interesting position to talk about these particular ways to help distributors sell more?
Absolutely. Thanks, Robert. So Lead Method is really the world's first distributor relationship management software. We work directly with manufacturers that sell through independent reps and distributors to help them better manage their sales process, understand the feedback from their distributors, the pipeline, opportunities, a number of different things that's been very difficult to get from traditional CRM products or manual processes.
Yeah, outstanding. So what we're going to do today is we're going to cover 3 major areas, 3 major points during the course of the discussion. The first thing we're going to do is dig into the challenges that are unique to selling through distributors and manufacturer reps, as Justin just alluded to. And then we're going to dig even deeper into the opportunity cost of having poor distributor feedback and engagement in place, right? We're going to talk about the black hole and lack of communication. And then we're going to lay out what to do about that, and that's where we're going to get into the details around these 5 ways to help reps and distributors sell more, which is really the goal of having a go-to-market model that includes reps and distributors. So what makes this a unique situation? Distributors are independent companies. They carry lots of products from lots of people, lots of different entities. And so getting your product always top of mind can be a challenge. No one company controls the overall lead to revenue process. So if you're a manufacturer and you share leads with your distributors and with your independent reps, there's a handoff that takes place, and a lot of times that handoff can create miscommunication. Stuff falls through the cracks, and it just really begins to be an inefficient part of the overall process. And then this is sort of all made worse by the fact that everybody's got a different system and a different workflow about how they receive leads, how they follow up on leads, how they sell, and all those types of things. So it's definitely a unique situation. And it gets to this black hole, right? I referenced this earlier, where you've got, as a manufacturer, you've got limited to no visibility into your sales channel performance, including very important things like lead follow-up rates and response times, right? Critical to getting business won is being prompt and follow-up, especially if someone's come and knocked on your door. It's difficult to manage an integrated pipeline around sales and projections and forecasts. If you don't know what's going on with your distributors and your reps, and you're driving sales opportunities to them, you really are at a disadvantage here as it gets to understanding where you are actual to plan month to month and quarter to quarter. And then the overall thing is you're investing to drive business through distributors and reps. Very difficult to measure your ROI on that if you have absolutely no idea or limited information about what's actually happening with the leads that you're handing off. To drive that point home, there's a couple visuals that we'll get into here, but this essentially is sort of very much of a left to right movement. You have manufacturers on the left. They then work with regional managers, distributors, and buyers. And so the manufacturer will invest the money, right, generate sales leads, will hand those off to their regional managers. Those regional managers essentially begin to route those and share those with distributors and reps, who then interact directly with the end customer. And what you'll see here is there's definitely interactivity back and forth between the distributor and the buyer, but the overall process moves one direction with no feedback loop if you're the manufacturer on this. So again, driving home the point that you're investing time, you're investing effort, you're investing money in trying to drive business through your distributors and your reps, but you really have very little visibility about what's going on. So much so that we've seen only 20% or so of manufacturers do get feedback from distributors. And the feedback we're talking about here is things around lead quality, right? All of the things that move beyond just someone's name, phone number, email address, right? To have this sort of collaborative dialogue is critical, because if you're generating things that don't close, then it's a waste of money. If you're generating things that are the wrong person, then you're creating additional work cycles on the distributor and reps end of things. If you're generating the right things, then it's about doubling, tripling down, right? Knowing that you're actually driving some real legitimate business there. And in the absence of having any feedback, you don't know if any of those scenarios is actually playing out. We do talk a lot to companies about their CRM systems, right? As we discuss this issue, and people agree with us, they have this challenge. Generally, default position is, well, what about my CRM system? Can it not fix this? CRM systems are very valuable, but they're very focused on the internal sales team and sales operations, and so managing deal stages and follow-up activities, whatever it be, for your direct sales team is a good use and a good way to put CRM to work. Where this really falls down is when you move outside your four walls and you're looking to collaborate and communicate and sort of have this closed loop information flow with distributors and reps. And they're not using your CRM system in most cases. They're using something else, if anything at all. Again, reinforcing back to one of the previous points, which is you're struggling in some situations because you have a certain workflow and a certain set of systems, and your distribution partners have different ones. So that sort of frames the problem in some detail. And what I want to do is shift gears here a little bit. We're going to get into what to do about it. And I think this is a great visual here. So if we all agree that this is a problem, we've yet to have a conversation with a company that sells 50% or more through distributors that doesn't have a challenge in this area. So what we want to do is sort of lay out a roadmap here of what exactly to do about it. And to lay that roadmap out, I'm going to hand the reins over here to Justin, and he's going to walk us through that.
Great, thanks, Robert. Yeah, excellent points there. Thanks for summarizing the problem. Businesses, manufacturers have been in business for a long time, and face lots of different challenges. And this is one significant challenge here: getting the critical feedback and engagement, and increasing the collaboration and communication with your distribution network. And there's sort of a road here. We can live with it or continue to do what we're doing. But we personally have seen incredible results for companies that are addressing this problem to fix it. It takes commitment from the manufacturer and the distributor, and technology is really the solution for this in many cases. And we'll talk about that in a second here. So the first point, we want to talk about 5 points here to help this process. And the first one is simplifying the feedback process. Okay, we understand these distributor-based businesses. They're selling for lots of different manufacturers. They're pulled in lots of different directions. They have huge catalogs and lots of products to sell, and they have their own processes internally. And so as a manufacturer, we have to simplify this and make it incredibly easy for them to give you that critical feedback around the lead quality, the opportunities that they're working. When are those opportunities expected to close? What's the percentage of chance they're going to close? And so you can truly understand a pipeline. So we have to look at simplifying it and eliminate any of the barriers that have been there with traditional businesses. One of them is requiring them to log into your CRM product. If all 30 manufacturers require them to do that, obviously it's a challenge, and they have their own tools. And so one thing that we do with our lead method product is we do not require these distributors to log in. And we guide them through a very, very simple selling process so they can get the information they need and give you quick information just by clicking buttons. So that's the first one, simplifying it and really understanding what that distributor business is doing. The second one is the use of technology. In our experience, we've had a lot of different folks that have tried to, manufacturers that have tried to solve this challenge by hiring call centers. Some have even done paper-based surveys that they mailed out. But in the end, that's not a sort of an automated process, and it's certainly not using technology that's available. And so, understanding that these distributors are using their smartphones, they're on their tablets, they're on their laptops, they're on the road a lot of times, leveraging technology in a solution such as Lead Method to get them give them the tools to give you that critical feedback on what's going on with their sales pipeline via the tools that they're using in the road. Point 3 here is to prioritize your leads. This is critical. We hear this in working with distributors almost every day. They need you to identify those hot leads that they need to follow up quickly. And oftentimes when you're either as a manufacturer fielding leads from your websites or from those that are calling you, or even trade shows or magazines and some of the advertisements you're doing, there are a set of hot leads in there. And that's the thing that's important, to score those leads and to communicate that information off to the distributor so they can follow up on those leads first. That is a key part of this relationship. The fourth one here is about automating your process. looking at your lead management process and how you communicate those leads to distributors. It's all about speed to contact in today's digital economy. Gartner research says that almost half the time the sale goes to the company that follows up first. And that, as a manufacturer, that's your job to get those leads prioritized and also in the hands of the distributors as quickly as possible to get them the best chance of closing that deal. And so automation tools to bring those leads into a tool like Lead Method and to get them out as quickly as possible for an auto assignment function without having a manual screening of all those leads is very important. And that's something that you definitely have to focus on the automation side. And it comes down to data-driven decisions. When you get critical feedback and information about your sales leads, and companies that sell a majority through distribution, that's a huge part of your business, you're going to have a massive amount of data to work with to make those data-driven decisions and not just assumptions based on which direction the economy is going and everything else. And imagine having a clear understanding of each of the lead statuses, understanding those deals that are opportunities, quotes, solds, having a pipeline, and also understanding the distributor performance and exactly what they've done with the leads they've sent you. And in today's economy, having that information to be able to roll up to your CEO or communicate throughout your organization about the sales and marketing side is critical to the success. And to point again on this this quote here around data is reality, and most companies are ignoring it. Until they transform that culture, they're not going to accelerate business growth. For typical manufacturing businesses that don't have that critical feedback and information from their core sales group, which is the outside distribution channel, it's hard to make a lot of conclusions based on data because the fact is it's just not there. And so a tool like Lead Method, it's really the first of its kind to get that critical information from distributors, will give you an incredible amount of information to make conclusions around what does our pipeline look like, around inventory control and a number of different things, and understanding the demand for your product, and also understanding what distributors are doing with your leads. So to summarize here, I'm just going to go through these 5 points. It's about simplifying the process, not making it more complicated. Distributors need this in order to communicate with you and collaborate with what's going on in their daily sort of sales processes. Using and leveraging that technology to your advantage, because distributors have those tools. They have their smartphones and they have their tablets and they have their computers on the road. Leveraging those tools that they have to get the information. Prioritizing the leads is critical so that those leads that are hot, that are requiring a quote or looking for a replacement product or part or something can surface to the top and they can identify those right away. Automating your process for lead management especially will save your team a ton of time internally and make distributors' lives a lot easier. And then it's all about collecting that information and making those data-driven decisions, and that's critical. And this matters. This matters in a big way. Our clients that have utilized our Lead Method software to streamline this process are seeing huge results. 300% increase on average in distributor feedback and engagement. Distributors are leveraging a tool like Lead Method in a big way to really streamline their business and to help communicate and collaborate with you guys as manufacturers. Huge time saving on the automation side for the lead management, but most importantly, our clients are giving us feedback that there's been an upwards of 20% increase in overall revenue. That's what matters. And the reason for that is that distributors are able to sell more deals because you're giving them better information quicker. They're able to follow up on those leads fast and get to the decision makers so they can sell those deals when dealing with competition. And you're also able to understand everything that's going on in that pipeline and support those distributors in the ways that you need to. So the next slide here, just to summarize one more time, it's about that distributor engagement. There are a lot of tools out there, CRM products, marketing automation, a lot of tools that give great graphs and charts and all sorts of things, but without that distributor engagement and that critical feedback, that the information is not available. And that all comes down to the visibility in the marketing and sales analytics. The amount of information you'd have is awesome, so that you can make those critical data-driven decisions on your business, and then ultimately that all comes together to amount to the more revenue.
All right. Well, Justin, thank you for going through that, and thanks everyone for joining us today. I'm going to ask Justin to sort of summarize the types of companies we work with here in a moment. But if you have questions, want to talk about this, talk a little bit more about either the challenges you're facing or how Lead Method can help you do it, please do contact us. You can find more information at leadmethod.com. You'll see on the screen here both my email address, rps@leadmethod.com, as well as Justin's, and a phone number. So lots of ways to get to us. Again, I think it would be a good sort of maybe final point to talk about the types of companies that we work with from your point of view, Justin.
Absolutely. Thanks, Robert. So we at Lead Method work with primarily manufacturing businesses in the industrial space, the wastewater, the oil and gas, electronics, any company that sells a majority through distribution and is interested in understanding what that distribution channel is doing with the leads that they're passing on, which is every company that we've talked to. Businesses accelerate with Lead Method. They accelerate a lot of different elements within their company. Obviously, automating the lead process, but most importantly, giving distributors a critical tool to give them feedback on the information that matters, which is the leads, the opportunities, the deals that are quoted, and then keep a strong pulse on the sales efforts. And we've heard incredible feedback from those distributors, and often they thank us and say, great, this is fantastic. I wish all my manufacturing businesses were on a platform like this, because it makes it so easy for me to quickly give them the information that matters and what I'm doing on these particular leads, so we can better collaborate and ultimately sell more deals.
All right. Well, thanks for that, Justin, and thanks everyone for joining us. And everyone have a great rest of the day.
Thanks.